Good morning or good evening to all, and welcome to the Data-Driven Community virtual meeting. A few words about the Data-Driven Community. If you will check the community website, then you can notice we are managing two bunches. You can scroll down a bit and you will see the upcoming events. On the left side of the page, you can notice the Future Data-Driven Summit. This is an annual joint conference we are leading and running with multiple data platform user group partners. The Future Data-Driven 2025 did not yet started to be planned. We will work on this probably soon. The second branch of activity we are leading is the weekly meeting of the Cloud Data-Driven User Group, like today. You are more than welcome to contact any of the community folks. Jen Joseph, who is also our speaker today, is the founder and co-administrator of the community. Anna Weekly is a community moderator and event organizer. Difty Goguri is a user group moderator and event organizer. And myself, I'm co-administrator of the Data-Driven Community. My name is Ronen Arieli. I'm from Israel, working as a senior consultant in the field of data platforms and architecture of enterprise-level systems. And I will be hosting the session today. Together, we are here to help and serve the data platform community. During the meeting today, please feel free to use the chat for questions and discussions as well. This is a user group meeting, not a conference, so we are a bit flexible with the time. Feel free to use the chat. More than this, you are also welcome to use the reaction. It doesn't interfere with the course of the meeting. If you hear something that you love, like, or you want to clap hands virtually, feel free to do so. Today, we are honored to have Jen Joseph with us in the speaker seat, because usually, as I mentioned, Jen is in the hosting seat. Jen, can you please share your screen and add a few words about yourself?
Yeah, perfect. I'll be happy to, and thank you, Ronan, so much for hosting this. Can you please confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Great.
Perfect. First of all, I would like to say Happy New Year to all of you, right? It's a new year, okay? And I wish you all the best and keep learning. As Agentic AI is the future, I hope, for example, we all take this in consideration, and our first session for this year of 2025 happened to be focused on Agentic AI. I am Jean-Joseph, based out of New Jersey, originally from Haiti. I am a data and AI engineer, and I work for Microsoft as a technical trainer, mainly focused on data and AI. Yeah. I started my career as a network administrator, then I moved to database administration and development. Then after that, moved to data engineering, then AI, right? In case if you want to stay in touch with me, this is my LinkedIn profile. You are free to scan it and let's stay in touch, right? As you may know already, our presentation is mainly focused on Agentic AI, which going to be our feature, right? And the context we will tackle is data engineering and analytics, right? In the context of Agentic AI, it's great to understand the concepts and how to do proper knowledge sharing from human to AI proxy. So I have presented this session a couple times. This is my third time. I always have great feedback because This presentation mainly focus on the mindset and hands-on. The same way us as human would have get the job done is the same way I'm about to show you how the AI system can perform the end-to-end database development and the loading part, even the deployment part, along with analytics, which is something you probably surprised. But at the end of this presentation, I also will explain to you how proper knowledge sharing is important. So this is going to be our agenda for today. So first, I'm gonna go over what exactly is agentic AI. Okay. First, before I get started, I have Tim right in front of me. Can someone tell me exactly if they heard the concepts of agentic AI, or have you used it before? If you already did, or if you have using it before, what framework did you use? Do you mind to put that on the chat? Second, I'm gonna go over, for example, when to leverage agentic AI. Happy New Year. Yep, I have not heard of. Yeah, that's good. Great. And then I have not heard of it. So I have 36 attendees on the call. So if I remove myself and Ronan, it should be 34. There's only few of us reacting. Your engagement matter because the more you engage, the better you can get from me. Yeah. So great. Semantic kernel, that's outstanding. Perfect. Great. What else? We are 37 now. Okay. So we're gonna go over the core component of agentic AI and also what would be the difference between LLM and agentic AI, because I have seen cases where people blog or people talk about LLM. It's like they think, okay, why do we need agentic AI? So I'm gonna go over the key differences, right? Then we're gonna go over the framework, different kind of framework, but the focus would be mainly on Microsoft Autogen. And I will go over Microsoft Autogen key concepts for you to understand. So what would be the objective of this presentation? Here's the thing. At the end, your feedback would be amazing because this is a heavy topic. The way I lay out the presentation, I make it easy for beginner and advanced. So it doesn't matter who you are, you will benefit something. So let's get started. Before, let me revisit the chat. I see line graph. Okay. So perfect. Great. What exactly is agentic AI? If we have to define that thing, what exactly is that? The agentic AI referred to artificial intelligence system that possess the capability to act autonomously, make decisions, or pursue goals without human interventions, right? These AI systems exhibit agent-like behaviors, meaning they can perceive their environment, process information, and take action to achieve specific objectives. Often discussed in the context of advanced AI, this system performs tasks requiring human-like reasoning and problem-solving abilities. These agents can automate complex tasks, provide decision support, and offer personalized experience, right? They communicate using natural language interface, collaborate with humans. If we have to think like human can be in the loop whenever there is a complex decision that need to take place. Instead of we trust the AI user proxy, we can bring human in the loop, right? So with that, we can work together between the AI agent user proxy and human to make complex decisions, right? If I have to summarize this, is that acting as you can think the AI agent as acting as the two system, like a co-pilot. What I mean by, and if there is a need for more complex cognitive tasks, right? Guess what happened in terms of finding patterns, understanding user behavior? AI is excel at that, right? So we can take advantage of that capability AI has, use it as a co-pilot to enhance efficiency, productivity, and innovation across different fields. It doesn't matter if you are a data science, if you are a data analyst, data engineer, SQL developer, you name it. If you are a doctor and a lawyer, the agent can act as us as long as there is a proper knowledge transfer, which I'm going to cover with you. So hopefully you and I are on the same page. When to leverage agentic AI, right? I'm pretty sure you're probably asking yourself that question. Agentic AI can significantly enhance our capability in different ways. The first, if we have to think of what we call automation of complex tasks. These AI systems can handle intricate tasks without human interventions. Yes, they can. Improving efficiency and productivity in fields like manufacturing, logistics, even data, as this presentation mainly focus on data engineering and analysis. If I have to think of an example, let's take healthcare. Agentic AI can assist in diagnosing disease, personalized treatment plan, monitoring patient health, and managing medical record efficiently. Well, what about team decision support, right? If we have to think of this one, agentic AI can analyze vast amount of data quickly to provide valuable insight and recommendation, aiding decision making in areas such as finance, healthcare, education, and business strategy, right? If we need to mainly focus on what we call personalized experiences, right? From um, tailored marketing campaign to customized learning experience, agentic AI can provide personalized interaction that enhance user satisfaction and engagement. If I need to take an example, let's focus on education. Personalized learning experiences, tutoring, and administrative tasks can be managed by agentic AI, enhancing the educational process for students and educators, right? Depending on your organization, consider if the issue is performing complex problem solving. Can the AI help? Yes. These AI systems can tackle problems that are too complex or time consuming for humans, such as optimizing supply chain, detecting fraud, or managing smart city, right? What about innovations, right? And research. Agentic AI can accelerate research and development by autonomously exploring new hypotheses, conducting simulation, and generating novel solutions in fields like medicine, engineering, and environmental science, right? For data intensive tasks, which is going to be our main focus, right? If data involve processing and analyzing large data set, agentic AI can efficiently handle the data, extract meaningful pattern, and generate actionable insight, right? So in essence, if I have to summarize, is that agentic AI has the potential to drive innovation, improve decision making, and automate complex processes, ultimately leading to greater efficiency and advancement in various sectors. And first of all, that's going to be our feature. And at the end of this presentation, when I go over the demo, you will see that. For now, let's try to focus on what we call the core component of agentic AI system. For something to be considered as agentic AI system, there must be understanding. And the system has to be able to think and act. So now, if I have to focus on what we call memory, what exactly? Why do we need that, right? And should we take in consideration long and short-term memory? I think we do. Memory in AI system is essential for understanding and returning information. We have there are there are two types of memory. We have a short and a long-term memory. If we have to focus on short-term memory, is that they allow the AI to temporarily store and manipulate information for immediate tasks, similar to human working memory. If I have to think of long-term memory, on the other hand, they store information over extended period, enabling the AI to recall past interaction and learn from experience, though building a knowledge base for future use. You can see how valuable memory is. What about planning? Seems like my pen is kind of acting up, so hopefully I can quickly see it or get the new one. Yep. So for planning is that it's involved the AI's ability to strategize and make decisions to achieve specific goal. Anytime when you think of planning, you require LLM, which refers to what type of foundation model you are using, right? So let's take, for example, GPT-4. And you know, LLM stand for large language model. Like GPT play a crucial role by providing context-aware responses and predictions, right? The AI's thinking process include logical reasoning, pattern recognition, and problem solving. And in terms of planning, I think you also need to think of what we call self-refine. This is an interactive process where the AI uses self-feedback to improve its performance, while reflections involve learning from language-based feedback to refine response and behavior, right? So now you know memory and planning, and sometimes we might need to perform actions. This is where tools comes in. Yeah, like tools in agentic AI system refer to the functionalities and capability the AI can leverage to perform tasks. These include acting or action executions, let's put it this way, where the AI carries out specific action based on its planning and decision-making processes. Uh, these tools enable the AI to interact with other systems, right? Sorry about that. Executing or execute command and manipulating data to achieve goals effectively, right? By understanding these core components, tools, memory, and planning, you can see how agentic AI systems are designed to mimic human-like intelligence and behavior. True. right? Because you can enable them to perform complex tasks autonomously. As I mentioned earlier, there is a bit of differences between what we call LLM. I'm sorry, I can see the thing on my pen is just whoop, see, but hopefully I can quickly with this. Another one, just give me one second. I have tons of them here because it's not, yeah, perfect. And LLMs and agentic AI, they are two different things too. And trust me, they are two different. If we have to think of the core functionalities, LLM focus on language understanding and generation, while agentic AI focuses on task automation and real-world interactions, which are two different things, right? What about autonomy? Let's focus on autonomy, right? LLM are passive, whereas agentic AI is active and can operate autonomously, right? I know you're probably thinking, and learning, right? So for learning, let's focus now on LLM. They have static learning after training. That's it. Even if you bring RAG, you're not gonna retrain the model. So you just add more context into the model, and you use the power of the foundation model to understand the context and predict an output, right? Based on probability distributions. It's all passive, while agentic AI is adaptive and learn from ongoing interactions. Speaking on ongoing interactions, we cannot ignore environment. Environment interactions matter, right? LLM are limited to text-based interactions, while agentic AI can interact with both digital system and physical world, right? So it is ideal to understand both types of them, when to use one versus others. But it's so funny because if I'm speaking of LLM, there is absolutely no agentic AI without LLM. But the intent here is to show you anytime when you think of agentic AI, think of a system that have the capability to act, interact just like human, as long as there's a proper knowledge transfer occur. So now, are there any questions? How is it going so far, Tim? So far, so good. No questions? Perfect. Great. Now, let's focus on what we call the top, okay, framework. So is it probably can use in self-driving? Self-driving require agent because, first of all, in terms of environment, for something to be able to take decisions in real time, it requires agents. So therefore, yes, absolutely see agentic AI, right, as a self-driving car. So does that answer your question?
Yes, there are questions in the chat. There was a discussion before, but there was a question, is it probably can use in self-driving cars, for example?
Yeah. Any, for example, the best way I can say, think of agentic AI as a system that have the capability to learn its environment, like a baby learn. A baby learn how to talk, a baby learn how to walk, a baby learn how to express her or his feeling just by observing and adaptation. And also, you also have to take in consideration reinforcement learning as well, right? Because the agentic AI over time can improve the level of its accuracy because it can learn from past mistakes. This is where reinforcement learning take place. So far, so good. Does that answer your question?
There were
Hopefully.
two mentioned, so I will speak now. First of all, people ask for demo. I assume that there will be a demo. More than one person asked. And you mentioned autonomy, and this always the big fear of people regarding AI. So if you will be able to elaborate a bit more about the autonomy vs actually control it and tell it how to work.
Yeah, in the context of autonomy, it's performing things without human interactions. However, there are cases where critical decisions you might need to leverage, you might need to bring the co-pilot mindset where we keep human in the loop, right? Consider if there is a disease, we have an AI agent that treating patient care, right? The AI agent might perform its own analysis, say if we let that human being alive, that disease can impact so and so number of other humans. So the AI has to take a decision. Such decision might require, for example, human in the loop because everybody lives matter. Not only that, for example, we can see that even in stock market, right? And we can see there are some critical decisions. Uh, Definitely, we can bring human in the loop, but the world of agentic AI is self-driving, where the AI can understand the minimum requirement as long as there is a open knowledge transfer done, and then over time it gets good at what it's doing. Yeah, regarding the demo, there will be demo, but the thing is, if you don't understand the basic concept of what agentic AI is, it might be a little bit confusing because when I go over the script, the demo, unless if you come from a software background or you know how to script, you will be able to quickly follow. But if I build that foundation, and trust me, it will be much easy for you to follow along, right? So now let's focus on top framework. There are multiple framework available. We have Microsoft Autogen, right? So this framework simplify the creation of event-driven, distributed, scalable, and resilient AI agent system. So it support asynchronous messages, multi-language agent, and modular extensibility, right? We have Q AI created. If we think of Microsoft Autogen, that was developed by Microsoft, QAI created by QAI. This framework orchestrates autonomous AI agent with specific role, tools, and goals. So it's focused on intelligent collaboration, task management, and role-based agent to tackle complex tasks. We have also Swarm, which is created by Azure OpenAI, right? Swarm is on educational framework. We can consider this like that for lightweight multi-agent orchestration. It's emphasize ergonomic interface, agent coordination, and scalability. It's primarily focused for example, education purpose. And then we have LangGraph that's developed by LangChain, and LangGraph use a graph-based structure to build complex agentic workflow. So it supports state persistent human-machine interactions and dynamic execution path. But our goal will be on Microsoft Autogen. There are tons of other framework out there just for information. Yeah, if I have to go and define Microsoft Autogen, right, and it is an open source initiative designed to facilitate the development of customizable conversation agent. This framework provides a variety of simple and tools that empower developers to create agent tailored to specific needs, right? It's leverage LLM for enhanced conversational capability. So by offering both no code, so what I mean by there is a graphical interface for Microsoft Autogen, and there's a code first development option. So therefore, if you know how to code, in my case, I'm gonna use the code first, right? And the framework cater to a wide range of users, from those with minimal programming experience to seasoned developers looking for flexibility and control. The key feature of the Autogen framework include agent customizations, right? Allowing developers to fine-tune the behavior and personality of their agent, and multi-agent conversations, right? Which support flexible conversation pattern among multiple agents. This adaptability enables the creation of dynamic interaction that can evolve based on user input and context. With research-driven tools and patterns, this framework not only streamlines the development process, but also encourage innovation in how agents understand and engage in conversation, making it a powerful resource for building sophisticated AI, application-driven, right? So I'm gonna share this deck. This is the website, and I would also suggest you to join our Discord when you download this slide deck. However, there are some key, if I'm not mistaken, there are some key concepts you might need to be aware of Agentic AI before we go to the live demo, right? So first thing is the agent. And so now I am mainly focused on Microsoft Autogen, okay? An agent in Microsoft Autogen is an autonomous software entity designed to perform specific tasks. Technically, agents are built using AI and machine learning algorithm, or any foundation model you might need to think of. It could be GPT-4 or O1. You can enable them to, I would say the agent have the capability to process data, right? Make decision and execute action independently. So they can interact with user, even other agents and system through API and natural language processing. So agent can be programmed to handle tasks such as data retrieval, analysis, and providing contextual response based on predefined rules or learned behavior. So the second one is the proxy. Let's put it this way, right? The agent is what performing the task. Anytime when you think of proxy, think of a system that play human role. That's exactly what a proxy is. If I have to go a little bit deeper, is that a proxy in Microsoft Autogen serve as an intermediary that manage communication between human and backend service. Put it this way. Technically, a proxy handle user requests for them to be appropriate service or agent and return the response. So this layer ensure security, right? Load balancing and efficient data handling. So proxy can also perform tasks like caching, protocol translation, and request filtering, which help in optimizing system performance and scalability. The third one is what we call chat group. Chat group in Microsoft Autogen is a I would say, a collaborative space where multiple user and agent can interact, right? Technically, chat group are managed through a messaging infrastructure that support real-time communication, message synchronization, and context management among agents and proxy, right? So this infrastructure ensures that all participants have a consistent view of the conversations and can contribute seamlessly. Chat group can be used for collaborative problem solving, information sharing, and coordinated task executions. And we also have what we call group manager. Um, uh, the group manager oversees and coordinates activities within a chat group. Technically, the group manager handles group membership, permissions, and role, ensuring smooth communication flow. So it can also manage administrative tasks such as creating or dissolving groups, moderating discussions, what else I can think, and integrating external services or agents. So the group manager rely on user management system, access control mechanism, and communication protocol to perform its functionality effectively. But here's the thing, Tim. You know what exactly an agent is. You know when to use them, okay? And you know the difference between LLM and Agentic AI, right? And you also familiar with top uh, framework available to build Agentic AI and whatever I just spoke about, just a few of them. And we mainly focus on Microsoft Autogen. So now, how human should be able to work with it. Here's the thing, Tim. The value of AI comes from a problem. If there's no problem, there's no value for AI because the goal of AI is to promote efficiency, productivity, right? And guess what happened? So now let's go and focus on a real problem. Real problem. So this is hands-on. And all I need from you is your critical analysis because the goal is for data engineering, right? Consider if you have, for example, you are working for Contoso Bicycle INC, and they provide IT consultant, right? So now they reach out to you. They say that we will be receiving CSV file for all our tenants, okay? All schema definition will be the same, but the content will be different, right? So what are the purpose? Consider if we're speaking of hospital, you go from this hospital to another hospital, and 90% of the time the schema definition are the same. If you're selling IT consultant services, all we have to do is to create a template. Once a member sign up, we deploy a database for that member because the content that will sit on those tables will be different because they belong to different hospitals. So the healthcare information and everything, they all will be different, right? Because they have different clients information. So what they want to do, consider this like that. And they want, in our case, this is a bicycle, right? Consider they want to perform analysis to group by country and category. And then what they want to return the total number of order purchase price for each group, right? Moreover, they want to have the flexibility. If someone provide a country, the information should only return for that country, right? If, for example, they don't provide a country name, every information should be returned. And they want to perform another analysis where they need to group the cells, data by country, category, color, and count the quantity of each row. I know we don't have time, and it's 75-minute sessions. What would be your first intention? Your first intention is that, for example, is to break down the type of work that needs to be done. If you see, I call that knowledge transfer from human to user proxy. Very important. The same steps you as human need to apply to execute a task, that same test, okay, has to be transferred to the agentic AI, because it's not like God. Here's the thing. Why do we have IT? Because business own the data, but business cannot translate their need into IT processes. So they call us. We can't do nothing without business information, because every project started with information gathering, because we need to understand business intention, business goal, and turn those needs into an analytical questions. Then turn those analytical questions into what we call IT processes. So now, if we have to go, the first thing we need to think of is what we call import that file. To import that file, let's be honest, team, there must be a place for us to load that file. So therefore, we have to create sometimes a schema for stage and production, create two tables, one for staging, one for production. The staging, where we default all schema to string or varchar, right? Because during the loading part, we do not want our loading process to fail because of data conversion. Just keep that in mind. So we have this varchar. Once the data load into the staging, we need to load that data from staging to the production table. So doing that, there must be data transformation or data aggregation. There must be, for example, conversion, because the stage is all varchar. The table production must have a proper schema definitions. Do you understand? And also, there were a request where we need to give the user access to filter by country. So therefore, I would prefer a stop procedure, right? So we need to create some stop procedure. Step 2, we have to perform analysis. I can't go and criticize. This is a 3-hour session, workshop, okay? So I can't go and criticize all of them, but the thing is, we have to turn business processes. We have to create a stop procedure to respond to business question. If you remember, after we gather those information, we analyze them, we have to turn them into analytical questions. From there, we do the conversion from analytical question into IT processes. So in our case, it's going to be a stop procedure, right? So after that, we have to also think about error handling. So we have to be able to track if something failed and store that information and alert people. And we need to understand the life cycle of that process, right, Tim? Because size matter, right? So therefore, performance, from day one, we have to think of architecture in terms of size, right? And the size will define the type of your service capacity. Consider if it's a VM, the number of vCPU you require, the disk and everything. You know where I'm coming from. So all of this information, team, has to be transferred to AI, because AI is not a god, right? So now, here's the thing. If we have to trust the user proxy to do our job, there must be a transfer knowledge transfer done. So let me summarize a little bit, because this is the most critical slide. If you minimize this, it's like you're wasting your entire time, right? Knowledge transfer from human expert to AI system is critical in ensuring that agentic AI can make informed and accurate decisions, right? By embedding human expertise into AI, we can enable this system to perform complex tasks with a high degree of reliability and consistency, right? I'm pretty sure you agree with me, right? So this process not only enhances the AI decision-making capability, guess what? But also allow for efficient scaling of operations, reducing the need for extensive human intervention, which is exactly our goal. Moreover, we can even think effective knowledge transfer ensure that the AI system can continuously learn and adapt, maintaining their relevance and accuracy over time. That's our big goal. This ongoing learning process is essential for tackling complex problems and integrating seamlessly into human workflow. How cool is this? Where human is hard to tell. Am I dealing with a human or am I dealing with AI system? And by leveraging human insight, Agentic AI can complement and amplify human effort, leading to more innovative and efficient solutions, right? So here's the thing, how the knowledge transfer will be done. So I'm going to bring my VM here. I know it's coding, but I'm pretty sure you and I are on the same page in terms of context, right? In terms of context. So now here's the thing.
We have a question. We have a question, a very good question from Akaki. For the use of this case, the scenario that you present, what can Agentic AI be better than simply use Azure Data Factory to accomplish the same task? So I understand that you will bring us the value, which is the next step. I will add to this question, my question, which is, why not having something more flexible than using schema and table, which is very limited to specific things. The AI in general, I'm not talking only about this tool, have the ability to give us flexibility because it can also bring the value of generating the data and not only analyze it in the next step. Okay, so it's a bit complex of two questions together.
No, it's okay. To summarize what Wonen just mentioned, by the way, thank you, Wonen, is that it's ideal to understand deterministic services and non-deterministic services. AI, agentic AI, fall under non-deterministic. If you think of Data Factory, which is a framework on Microsoft Azure that is designed for data movement in the context of data engineering, they are deterministic. So therefore, it is what I say, when we're speaking of agentic AI, we're seeing something that mainly focus on adaptability, self-reflections, self-refinement. Okay, so meaning if I have to think of Data Factory, if the task I need to do just require a simple input, right? Cleansing at any scale, okay? Performing Data Factory is designed for all kind of pre-processing. It doesn't matter if it's machine learning, if it's data engineering, any kind of informatical needs. So Data Factory can provide that, but it is deterministic. So if you need something, I can bring agentic AI to work with data factory in collaboration or as a co-pilot to perform complex tasks that require human interventions, where I can do a knowledge share with agentic AI, like the same way. For example, if you see here, I can design a task and provide enough credentials, right? And use an API call to trigger a pipeline from Azure Data Factory based on the conversation context. So what I want you to understand, Tim, if you mainly focus, like I was watching an interview Satya has gave, it's on YouTube, where he spoke to me about the feature of SaaS. Okay, how agentic AI can change the feature of SaaS. Okay, so if you think of a SaaS, it's kind of deterministic. When we think of a human, we not deterministic. So meaning if something can mimic our behavior, so that thing could be, could have kind of the same level of intelligence or even more over time, because we came from a long way. If I go back to 300 years, the level of evolutions, the lifestyle change. What we do, we use our own data, we learn from it, and then we improve from there. The agentic AI has that same capability. As long as you well define the role, the purpose, the goal, and there's a proper knowledge sharing. Okay, so hopefully I was able to answer that question. There's that. Are you okay? I think it's so far so good. Yes, no? Can I proceed? Perfect. So now here's the thing, Tim. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna clean this because I have to test this before I go. I do live demo. Okay, so I'm gonna remove everything here and I will work with you together. Don't worry about anything you are seeing now. So for me to replicate this, these are my dependencies. I'm going to be honest with you. You require to install OpenAI. You require to install OpenAI. And also, this is for my variable to make my process a bit of variable driven. And you need to install Flam as well. Once you install this, the main thing is Autogen. Okay. Once you install this, so here's the thing, Tim. Doing the database development, we bring the same engineering mindset, and I want you to listen to where I'm coming from, right? There is an initial development. That initial development is a one-time off where we build a foundation. So that's what I'm doing here. If you see, I'm creating, I have a file called what we call code generator. So within that code generator, I'm creating a class. This is Python. Okay. So I'm importing Autogen, creating a class. Within that class, I'm creating a functions. And that functions, all it's doing is to set the level of my LLM intelligence. In our case, I want it to be 0, and the timeout and the type of models, right? And what we call caching. Do I need cache, seed, or not, right? And I have two input there. The first one that I have is the Transact SQL Coder Agent system. What is a system? In the context of LLM, so hopefully I can type here, okay, and sorry about that, give me a call. In the context of LLM, we have three types of users. We have system. The system allows you to change the behavior of the token predictions, in the context of transformer, you have encoder, decoder. Yeah, we're not gonna go too deep there. So what happened in here, Because we take human data, we compress human data into embedding context. So therefore, based on the context of the user input, we make a probability distribution that is based on the tokens, right? So now, guess what happened? If internet has the entire knowledge, we do not want to leverage all those contexts. Can we set a persona to LLM? Yes, the system is what allows you to do that. We can tell the system, I want you to act as a data engineer. So therefore, it knows exactly to focus on that context. And I want you, this is your role. That system, okay, that system will share that information with the assistant user. The role of the assistant is to grab the context of the system user and do the predictions. Okay, there is a user input, what's going to be the user prompt. So in here, that's going to be the message, okay, the system message. So now, here's the thing. This is my configuration. I'm not going to spend too much time there. This is where I'm defining that agent. That's my first agent. The first agent that I created is that, give me a code generator. I'm creating this agent, and I'm calling this agent. I did modify one. Is this the one that? Okay, perfect. I got it. So this is where, okay, perfect. This is the Python coder. This Python coder, its role is to, for example, let me see. Give me 1 second. I just want you to see where I'm coming from, because I have days here is that I'm going to explain this to you. The thing is, I am creating a version where I am using voice command for the AI to create its own agent based on the current need, right? But let me go and explain this to you. Is that if you see here, I'm creating a TCP coder. His job is to go and create generic code, right? That's one agent. And I'm creating another agent, which is a Python coder agent. His job is to create a Python script to save the SQL script the TCP agent coder will generate. And I'm creating, this is the proxy. The proxy is myself. That's a digital me that will do the communication and explain to them what needs to be done. Okay. So now in here is that this is if I want to keep human in the loop. That's what I'm doing here. And the mass consecutive auto reply. And then you require on environment, as I am doing it locally, and I am setting up use Docker to false. Okay, here this is the chat group that I was talking about. Within the chat group, what I'm taking is the TCP coder agent, the Python agent, and the proxy that I just created. And I am giving them the number of conversations they must have between them. I do not want to keep history, okay? And I don't want them to repeat themselves, because you have to think of the more you allow them to repeat themselves, the more token they might be used. So therefore, costs can be involved and the processing time can increase as well. But this is just for a demo. So this is the chat manager. If you see here is that in order for me to do the knowledge transfer, if you recall this, to do the knowledge transfer, I'm creating another one. Within that other one, I am importing what we call this class that I created from this class. Okay, I'm setting up the system message for the coder. Give me 1 second. Let me go, keep going. During the execution, it will point to the same file. In here is that I am going to do the knowledge transfer. I'm telling it what to do. If you see here, you can see there is a consistency. Okay, create a schema. Okay, call it this one, create one for production, call it this one. We won't have time to read everything. When I share my GitHub, you will see that. So those are the knowledge transfer. Okay, so doing the knowledge transfer when you're communicating with the agentic AI, it is ideal to reinforce your intention. And I want you to see is that here I'm reinforcing my intention. I'm saying, okay, please save the transaction file in the following order. This is just like reinforcing. I need to have this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. If you keep going, you will see that. So now, if you see here, I need to start the communications. And to start the communication, I have to call the manager group here. That's what I'm doing. And I am initializing this one. So if I go back here and copy the path and come back here, and what I want you to see is that if I say Python and I paste this one here and I execute this, before I execute, so what I want you to understand, we have nothing here. We have no SQL script, nothing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to execute this. When I call this one, what it's going to do, it's going to go import, if you recall this one, it will import this one here, and then it will go past the transaction agent system. Within the transaction agent system, I provide the production, okay, schema definition, because on stage it's all what we call it's all, for example, VACA. On production table, we don't want it to be VACA. So now it spoke. If you see here, it reached out. I had some unnecessary information to show you the proxy reach out to transaction agent, and then which is the TCP coder agent. It goes and create everything as instructed. After that, it reach out to the Python agent to go and save them. Why am I saying this? In the context of agentic AI, it is ideal to create one agent for each task. If one agent doing more than one task, that agent can get lost. It doesn't matter how secure that agent is. There is a good chance for that agent to get lost, right? So now if you see here, it's telling me everything is created. And if you see here, it goes, SQL, if you see, it goes and create the entire information here. Those are normal SQL. How long will it take for us to do it? See? And we're gonna analyze this later. So those are the logging process. If you recall, we had the logging process, as you can see here. And I want you to see how everything, it knows to track the time, where to get that stop procedure, and to track the error message, where to do that. So now what I want you to understand, this is the file that we have. Business said that's the file we want to load. That's the data. So now we know the data. We already have our development done. So all we have to do is to create that database. If I go back here and I create this database, and make sure it doesn't exist. Nope. So let's go and create this. Perfect. So now I'm creating a database and I'm going to refresh it right in front of all of us. You will see that I have nothing there. No stop procedure, no tables. I have no stop procedures, and I have absolutely no schema created. No user schema created. Those are all built-in schema. Moreover, I have no views created. So now, I am, here's the thing, I am about to go to a different agent. Why do I break it down? And I want you to see where I'm coming from. When I'm doing the development, it's a one-time off. But loading the data may not be one-time off. So I created two agents, one proxy, one to create this, to provide the database object context, create them, another one, which is the Python to save them. So now I'm done. I'm done with it. So now to load that, I'm creating an older Python class, importing Autogen. We're familiar with this one. If you see now, all I'm doing now, I'm creating an agent and I'm calling it a code executor agent, right? And what I'm doing here, I'm creating a proxy because the agent by itself cannot take decisions. For the agent to take decision by itself, there must be a proxy. And that proxy is a digital processes that represent us as human. It is the one that will allow us to keep human in the loop in the context of Copilot if there are critical decisions that need to take place. As you can see here, I'm saying human in the loop is never. So therefore, I'm granting, trusting that digital user proxy to act on my behalf, right? So now, if you see here, those are the same script. We are familiar. Now I am telling what to do. So here's what I'm telling it to do. Okay, I'm importing. I want you to see that. I am where is my input? Where is my input? I'm importing the code executor, which is this one, and I'm setting up the system message. Okay, and I am giving the user message. So now the user message are the instructions me should have done, and I'm sharing it with my digital, let's put it avatar or agentic AI, which is the user proxy, to perform the action on my behalf. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So now, and I'm telling it the sequence matter. I know you will say, why? In the context of object, you cannot create a schema without a database. And you cannot create a database without an instance. It's the same thing. You cannot create object without a schema. That's why we default one for you. Some database engine has DBO in the context of SQL Server. So it's ideal to understand the hierarchy, okay, the order, let's put it this way, the order of the objects. So otherwise, you might spending a lot of time in troubleshooting, right? So what I'm doing, I want the schema to be created first. And now I'm creating tables, okay? I'm executing tables, and then I stop procedure and so on. Here, this is where I am transferring some of the information. This is the table name. This is, for example, the file directory. This is the error because we handle everything. If I click here, you will see the entire information is here. Nothing here is, for example, PI. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. So what I need to do now is to call this guy. Okay. So when I call this guy, if I say Python and I share this, what I want you to understand is going to go execute that on my behalf just by using natural language processing. So it's speaking now to the code executor. And once the code executor get the job done, and it says the job is done and there's 0 error. So the Python executes successfully. All files were executed. How cool is this? Now, if I go back here and I refresh this, I want you to see there were no error. So if I click here, there should be 0 record. So I know the process. I have done a great knowledge sharing. I know for the process, there must be 2 records. one for the staging, one to load the data to the table production. So if I click here, I should see two. If you see here, I have one insert to the staging. I have another insert, and I did not tell it what to do. All I have to do is tell it the expectation. As long as there is a proper knowledge transfer with business context, you can, I would not say absolute, but the agentic AI can mimic us, right? So now, if you see here, this is the definitions of our schema. Everything is varchar. If you recall, during the loading part, we do not want our process to fail because of conversion data type issue. So we have it all varchar. We have this one, what we call the proper schema definition. And if I go back here, when we come here in the code generator, if you recall, I think I mixed them a little bit, but my GitHub is okay. So if I go back here, is that when I am doing the knowledge transfer, hopefully I'm right here. No, I'm not right. Let me go back to my own. Give me a second. Perfect. If you see, yes.
I have two questions, if I may, very short. First of all,
give me a second, Ronan. Let me finish this if you don't mind. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So if you see here, this is where, for example, the proper schema definition done. So if I go back here, you can see if I go to the stop procedure, you can, let's refresh this one here. You should see, so now we have the one that do the import. Let's modify this. You will see everything is dynamic, created, and it knows, for example, to use SP execute SQL, because we did tell it, make sure you take in consideration SQL injections. Right? We didn't tell it what to use, right? So now if you see here, when we're doing the insert, will it do a conversion? Let's see if it's going to do a conversion. So it knows to do a conversion. And guess what? We tell it to take in consideration carriage return, okay, tab, new line. So guess what happened? It's figure it out and knows one of them required that just by sharing your intention. So if I go back here, which is the stage table, if I select this and I click on this one, let me see which one, just to make sure it is selling price. Okay, let's go on selling price. If I copy this and I come back here and paste this, let's see. So it has line. So the cleansing done just by using natural language processing. So now if I go back here, you should see I have a clean data. If I copy the same one and go back here and paste here, it's clean. As you can see here, it's clean. So now you can see now, I know we are 1 minute after. If you see here, the entire end-to-end database development and deployment, even the loading part done just by using natural language processing with the help of Agentic AI using Microsoft Autogen. Great. Any questions? Warren, feel free to go for your question. Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry about that, Warren.
Oh, that's right. First of all, we have a request from Andrew, but I assume that everyone wanted to get the links to GitHub of the project that we can test. And you mentioned a few links in the presentation as well. So after the meeting, please try to organize all the links. And when we will publish the recording, add a comment with all the links, so people will be able to use. This will cover. Okay. Now, two small questions combined together. I liked a lot the fact that we can track the queries and what is being done behind the skin. Most people like to use AI to do their work, and they will not actually think about performance. But this is not in my hand always. So one, is there a limitation that after the queries were created, I will just go there and manually change them, and then the procedure will continue with what I changed?
When you say limitation, can I have more context?
No, I'm asking if I can manually just go to the files that were created, change the
Oh,
query.
yes. To be honest with you, in here, when you're dealing with what we call, when you're creating your proxy, you can have human in the law. Consider if this script is created, you didn't like it. You can take a look at the script and you said, no, I don't want it this way. That's how I want it. Yes, this is
No,
possible.
my question is manually. Can I just go to the file, the SQL query files, change them, and then you will continue by what I changed or not?
No, I think this is change tracking. That's different. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Can you give that attendees access to unmute? So therefore, I can have more context.
Okay, we need to test it because it can be useful if the administrator, for example, it can just, in the middle of the process, just go to the queries itself, to the file was created, and change it manually.
Yeah, I can change it manually. Yes, I can change it, but the intention of this presentation is autonomous, where we give the AI access to
No.
perform the action on our behalf. Do you understand? But I can come here and change the name to two and take a look. I can call this data driven. I can call this data driven if I want to and have the agent executed. But
Uh,
here's the thing. Yeah.
Again, it's very short answer. When using order, as you presented, again, regarding performance, it is a bit of a problem. Why do I need to run by the order? For example, create tables. I can just do it in parallel. Can I do it? Can I command AI just create?
Yes, but at the same time, in the context of database development mindset, you can do, you can create tables in parallel, but you cannot create views at the same times because view will require that object to be exist.
There is
So therefore, you will need to set up a workflow, and Autogen support that. So what I
okay. So
want you to understand, the dependencies, you have to respect that. In the context of stock procedure, it will warn you. You want to create this, I created, but the object doesn't exist, but view would fail because view is just a pointer, a shortcut to that table. So yeah.
if I told the tool to use order, then it will create it one after the other. I want like groups.
It seems like it could be a misunderstanding from my end. You can do it in parallel. You can do it. You can have what would I say that when I say in parallel, don't see multiple processes. So what I could do, I can hire more agentic agent to one focus on the tables, another focus on the schema. I can do that. But what I want you to understand during the creation of the object, it's ideal to take in consideration the dependencies of the object. This is what I want you to understand. We're talking about automations. We cannot minimize the dependencies. I hope you see where I'm coming from.
It's clear, perfect. Clear. Dependency is the main thing to think about. But there is an option to tell him to create some of the objects which do not have dependency, like multiple tables, in parallel. Yes or no? Is it possible? Is it open? Or it only creates one?
I am not too sure if I understand that questions. I'm not too sure. And I don't want to say something outside of the context. I'm not too sure if I understand.
In the code that you present us, you told him to run the queries, to create it by the order. You use the command order, and then you give it the order of the queries.
What I want you to understand is that I'm thinking of the database development. This is what I'm thinking. Do you understand? Even me, if I have to do the database development, the object has to be created in sequence. Or let me create an object. However, in terms of the deployment, consider if I'm moving from one environment into another, I can think of parallelisms where all objects, as long as the dependencies has been created, can run in parallel, right? But the thing is, I don't know. I don't want to go to mix the mindset and concept. So here is more like give the AI access to play our world, which is totally different. Do you understand? But where you are coming from, I can understand. I would expect you, for example, say something kind of different in terms of cost optimizations and in terms of incremental change. So for incremental change, I have one where I manage each request independent. Consider if the full initial development is already done. So there might be one or two times we might need to change something, or business may not like that stop procedure. The business may ask to modify that stop procedure. So we don't want to rerun the entire process. So what we could do in that case, if you see here, it is what we could do in that case, and I want you to see where I'm coming from, is that if I go back here, where is my JSON? I have one JSON. Within that JSON, so this is a dummy API. I can safely share it to all of you. That's a dummy name as well. I can go back. Give me a second. No, that's not what I really want to show. Just that's what I want to show with you. Perfect. So if you see here, for each part of the action that need to be done, I can have it into a JSON format. Okay, so I can define the number of tokens. Okay, I can say, is it active or not? So if I turn this inactive, guess what happened? It will not execute this. You can go and make it flexible, make it very advanced, to be honest with you. But where I'm coming from you is that to execute that object in parallel, blindly in parallel, without taking in consideration the dependencies, there will be a lot of failure. And each time there is a failure, depending on the max conversation you set that up, you are overusing tokens. And each time you're overusing tokens, you're consuming compute for no resources, for no reason, and cost will be impacted. So meaning it might be ideal to bring that same engineering mindset and do a knowledge share as normal, then trying to save time, whereas you already save time. It didn't even take me 2 minutes to do the entire work. Assuming it won't take me 2 minutes. This is kind of a day work if I have to start from scratch. Hopefully I was able to help a little bit. Any other questions? Warning? So far, so good. Am I online? It's a bit quiet. Yes, no? Perfect, great. Cool. So if you see here, we maintain, oh, I'm not done yet. It seems like Wonen take over. Wonen, give me a second. Let me close. Just give me a second. Can you confirm that you can see my screen, Wonen? Tim, can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if you see here, here is where I manage the tokens. I manage for each conversations. I have different tokens, and you can go and very customize it, make it fit your need. One thing I would like to say to all of you, don't minimize the power of agentic AI because of natural language processing. A lot of you minimize this. You feel like it's so easy. I've been you doing this for over 18 months and I still can get it. Whatever I've just shared with you, it's like 1% of understanding how complex this is. Knowledge transfer is not something easy. Understanding the core functionality is not something easy. And understanding what to trust, the consideration is not something easy. So meaning so many of us, when I go to speak to local user group, to any conferences, they say, yeah, it's just NLP. If you keep that mindset, it's going to be hard to keep up because these kind of evolutions, it's our future. That's just our future. And the knowledge transfer is the hardest part, even though it's still plain English or French, any kind of supported languages. So that foundation model has the capability. But what I want you to understand is just a digital process to play your own role or to work with you as a co-pilot. So therefore, even though if this is, for example, natural language processing is required, so I highly suggest you for it to not minimize its performance. So give me one second, Tim. I'm not sure why I have to use that pen to make it work. I already did what would I say, the live demo, but there's more demo we can do, but we outside of time, is that agentic AI is, I would say, prized to shape the future by enabling more autonomous, efficient, and insightful data processing and analysis, right? As this AI system team become more equivalent, they will perform complex tasks such as data exploration, pattern recognition. Well, what about predictive modeling at scale and speed beyond human capability, right? So this transformation allow organization to derive actionable insight more quickly and accurately. I'm pretty sure you agree with me. So leading to better decision making and strategy planning. So the quicker we can learn and adapt to this advancement, the more we can leverage agentic AI to drive innovation, efficiency. So with that, if I have to summarize, is that mastering the core concepts of agentic AI and proper knowledge transfer from human expert to AI system is crucial. We should not minimize it because effective knowledge transfer ensure that AI agents are equipped with the necessary expertise, I would say, to perform tasks independently and make informed decisions by focusing on this area, like data professional. It doesn't matter if you are AI, if you are, for example, analysis, engineering, database, even software solutions, right, can shift from routine tasks to higher level problem solving and solution design, ultimately enhancing their role and driving greater value within their organizations. Embracing team and mastering agency AI will position us to harness its full potential, leading to more innovative and efficient solutions across different industry. So with that, I know I've been speaking a lot. I would like to thank you all, especially Wonen, for doing an amazing job and you still keeping up on the call, even though I'm a little bit, take longer than expected, but hopefully you don't mind. And I truly appreciate the time. If you do have a question, you have um, my LinkedIn. You are free to drop your questions, right? Or you can ask live here if you want to stay a bit longer. I'm fine with that. But if you do not want to stay, yeah, feel free to follow up. And also take advantage of Microsoft Apply Skills. If you go to Microsoft Learn, you search for Apply Skills. There's a tons of Apply Skills that can even get you a free certification that typically based on AI, like Copilot. I mean, now, what would I say? That it's hard to trust internet information because of the evolution of deepfake. But the thing is, what I want you to understand, any trusted website like Microsoft Learn should be part of your favorite web browser, right? So the more we can learn, the better. Hopefully you get something out of this presentation. One more time, Happy New Year, and stay in touch. If you do have any question, please let me know. Back to you, Wonen.
Okay. First of all, it was really great session. We had a lot of questions. A lot of people asked about how to continue to learn. So again, after the meeting, in a few days, we will publish the recording, and I will ask Jen to add a comment with a few links and more information for us to take the learning for the next step. So thanks a lot, Jen, for the great session. And thanks everyone for joining us. Happy New Year, and join us next week to our weekly meeting. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye all.